Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines. August 30th, a prediction for September and October.
This is interesting. I see a wind event, something with wind. First card, if you look, see the mountain with that enormous swirling cloud above it?
September 26th, tornadoes and hurricanes on 2 continents.
Is someone in the royal family pregnant?
Yeah, that could be a big yes. Temperance.
Yeah, maybe one of Fergie's daughters.
4 days later, Buckingham Palace announces a princess is expecting.
Welcome to Royal Revelations. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. Thanks for joining me and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot today or on replay. If you're just joining me for the first time, this show is all about how to make predictions in your own life using various astrological charts. We use ancient forecasting methods, the same ones that were used in medieval times. One reason this channel, I think, has gotten so popular is because I show you simple ways to use astrology in your own life. But we also brainstorm on the predictions together. So thank you so much for your help. It's not just me and Amber. And so today we're going to make some more predictions. For ad-free content, click the join button and get our predictions with no interruptions. And there's also a link in the description box. And a special thanks to the valedictorians, the members who make this content possible. We are live every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 BST, British time. And I've got some upcoming astrology and crime shows this weekend. So I just want to show you a couple of those before we start. And here's Amber's handle on YouTube, Taurus Moon Tarot 761. We're going to go through this week, October 13th. I know you guys are excited. We've managed to figure out how to get really specific with predictions, not just monthly, not just weekly, but daily. This is the Koberger Prediction Show. It is going to be tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And I'm also going to do a show for members on Sunday night, the P. Diddy Prediction. So weird that when I was doing the thumbnail for this card flew out of the deck. It was Justice. And I was like, oh, that's a good sign if we're looking for people to come to justice on that one. And I am finally dropping Astrology and Crime for members. We were talking about Sir Kingston, and Amber and I worked together on this one. So look for that this weekend. I wanted to also mention Astrocartography with Helena. She gave me a great mention on Instagram, and I wanted to make sure you guys caught her on YouTube. She makes predictions too. She loves predictions, and she also focuses a lot on Europe. Check out my books on Amazon, The Secret Career Code, Forensic Astrology 101, and go to my Instagram, Val Evans Astro. And today I am giving away one free reading, 1 hour live reading, and the winner is Lisa Gatto. So congratulations, Lisa. And I'm going to reach out to you on Instagram. So we're also doing a class, me and Amber, Sunday at 4 o'clock Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. And this is a giveaway from Amber. It's called The Tarot of Light and Shadow by John Matthews and Andrea Ast. These are 2 decks, actually, that work together for insight into your inner world and what is unknown, which is the shadow deck. Mars is in Cancer right now, and we are all symbols, and we are interacting with other symbols. And Mars in Cancer is what I consider Walter White. Now, what's interesting about Walter White, who was the character on Breaking Bad, portrayed by Bryan Cranston, Walter means a commander of the army. And white is a representation of Cancer. So what better symbol of Mars and Cancer than Walter White? And if you don't know the series, then you probably don't know how intense this man is, but also can be very abusive in language and actions. Mars in Cancer is somebody who is very powerful, very scary. I described a little bit about Walter White when he is a little bit flawed. He lost his job. He's not really focused. He's kind of all over the place, kind of a mess. And that's Mars retrograde in Cancer. So I don't know which one is worse, but that is my description really for Mars in Cancer. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick, and then I'm going to bring in Amber. I know that's where we first were introduced to Brian. Well, actually, he was on Seinfeld. Mars in Cancer looks like, the top right. But if you're looking at a transit of Mars, and this just happens to be Mars in retrograde, look at where it is in your chart and find out where Walter White is. And you will be able to see where it affects you in various months. But we are out of Mars in Cancer, thankfully, on November 3rd. And then we come back into Mars retrograde in Cancer, and that's January to April. So yay for us. My God, how are you feeling?
I feel better. I do feel better. It's a slow progress, but I am definitely better than 2 weeks ago.
Well, you look like you're glowing. Maybe it's the sun, or I don't know, maybe Pluto coming out of retrograde, which I am so happy about. Just move on out of there.
Get moving forward.
We've got some predictions. We have so much to talk about. I'm not sure we're going to be able to fit it all in, but the first thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that, we've been doing some shows and discussions about Milton, and we've had so much in the way of weather, crazy weather. There's a lot of controversy. There is a lot of conspiracies around the weather, and I am going to address that in a little bit. We are going to be looking at last week's real quick because I wanted to make a couple of points. And the way that we draw the chart for the beginning of the week is Sunday midnight, and then obviously the city, which would be London. And then at this point, we are going to look at the different houses as days. And by the way, how about some Scorpio color here? That eggplant, the reddish purple, and both very famous ladies came out within 24 hours. Kamala Harris's cover dropped. And then, of course, the royal couple.
It was where the stabbing occurred.
Exactly. They went there and also talked to the first responders, I think.
It was good to see them together.
I know. Everybody was kind of surprised, I think.
Yeah.
And tell me if I'm wrong here. And I open this up to everybody else. But we've got Sunday was the first house, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So the moon was ruling, and it was this fifth house here on Sunday. A lot of wind. So Tuesday, things were really whipping up here. Then again, the same house. So we had a lot of focus on the fourth house this week. And the way that we do this is we look at the house and we look at the Lord and where the Lord is. And really, I think for Sunday to Saturday, all we have to do is look at these first houses here. So this is when the hurricane came in. And so interesting too, that not only do we have a hurricane, but what does Libra represent? It represents politicians. And this is a very devious politician. And look it up here. Up here is Neptune, which is a very devious conspiracy. And so with Neptune retrograde, I think that's kind of like a flawed conspiracy. I don't think it looks like it works, except where does it seem to gain strength? In the 11th house is social media. Lots of strength from the social media side. We're talking about all the man-made rumors, and really there was a lot of bullying with some of the meteorologists who were like, I don't know what you're talking about. Princess Catherine and Prince William, they came out yesterday, right? So that would have been Thursday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This would be a Scorpio house. Pluto would be ruling this house. And you've got some really, really famous people here, but famous woman comes out, and there's a very nice blue grand trine there, and the ninth house is the news. So we knew that there was going to be somebody coming out that was famous. There's more than one. There was also Kamala too, and this would have been Saturn. Could have been a dark complexion with the famous woman. You can get famous woman because the moon is fame and Venus is female.
Yeah.
We've got this dropping, which you found, I guess it was about a week ago, the twin track approach is evolving, where we're seeing Meghan in one place and Prince Harry in another place.
This is interesting with all the Gemini. Yeah,
I know. So lots of twins. And for those of you who are just joining us, we tend to just observe the headlines and see how the astrological events are shaping the news, really. Now, today we've got some news. Prep those tiaras. King Charles and Queen Camilla set to host second state visit of the year. This is pretty big.
Yeah.
Big news because we haven't seen something like this from them for a while. And they are going to be hosting the Emir of Qatar and his first wife and consort on December 3rd and December 4th. So pretty big deal. This is Prince Charles's transit chart. And here's some good news. We've got Pluto, which represents his family, and it's coming out of Capricorn finally and coming into Aquarius. So there's a square here, and it just looks like a lot of jealousy, a lot of trouble there. So, and the way we get that is the fifth house for Charles is in Scorpio. So we look to see where his natal Pluto is, as well as the transit Pluto. Okay. So I'm asking about Prince Charles here, and this is around the time that he's going to be in Australia. I am seeing, like, usually Uranus and, I mean, it's got the moon. There is an opposition here with his sun, which is his body. And there could be some kind of change when it comes to his trip, but it could also be headlines that interrupt his glory, really, where, I mean, Uranus is in Taurus, and that could mean some headlines from Israel. So I wonder if we could get a little bit more specific on, and we asked about this before, but since we're getting closer in, I want to see what we think about King Charles's trip to Australia.
Okay.
And while you do that, I'm going to just double check to see if there's been any news.
Yeah, I think the two cards that I pulled before we started talking, there were a couple of things. One was the World card came out a couple of times, but when you mentioned it going from Capricorn into Aquarius, I did get the Star card in reverse, which with the World card together, I could read as, and it actually comes with the Knight of Pentacles, which is a slow down, sort of, pumping the brakes, world travel. And then that Star card in reverse is, something not coming to its full, Queen of Cups. Yeah, the Star card in reverse could be something that was intended that doesn't happen, something that was hoped for but falls flat. Justice in reverse. I really feel like, there's a lack of travel. Eight of Wands in reverse, Justice in reverse. It's not what maybe he wants to do, but I don't think he's going to Australia. I've said that before, and I see it again.
Okay. Yeah, because
I will say, would Queen Camilla go on her own? Because this is in the upright. Queen Camilla I typically see as the Queen of Cups.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, and there's a headline that just came out. King Charles's trip to Australia is all about proving he's not, dying. That's a harsh headline, but
yeah.
Now, here, on the other hand, the doctors are saying that, they're going to pause his chemo, but I don't know anybody who gets chemo every day,
Yeah,
let alone every 2 weeks. So it seems like it might be a
right.
fake headline to me.
Mm,
So we'll have to see how that
we'll have
works
to.
out.
Mm.
Now, if we're going to look at some solar return charts, and did you want to say one more thing?
No, this is good.
Okay.
I can't wait to see these.
We're going to look at some solar return charts to look for predictions. And if you're looking for yourself, you're going to go to AstroSeek. You're going to pull your birth chart from the horoscopes tab. Then you go to the solar return in the top right, and you're going to click the date of your last birthday. Then click the solar only tab. That's really important. And then you're going to see your predictive calendar for this year. Okay, boy, people are not going to like me
Mm,
showing this, but how interesting. I think we should start looking at her at her outfits like
yes,
omens, because we're in Mars and Cancer, and to me that's the color red.
right.
So I've been seeing some things, and we're going to do an investigation. We're about to do an investigation. This is going to have to do with a huge change. And
Mm,
last time we were looking at Princess Catherine's full moon calendar, and February was coming up because she had a full moon in basically the later degrees of Leo, which showing that a culmination of Queen around February, maybe March, somewhere
mm,
around then. Now I am looking at the Duchess's solar return chart. And so how we would do that would be we would go to August, and then we'd count all the way around to February. And in her husband house, we've got Uranus there, and
mm,
it squares Regulus.
mm,
We've looked at it for a long time, but let's think for a second. This is an interruption. If you saw something like this in your own solar return chart with a red line through it, it's usually when the energy of one or two
mm,
signs are at its worst.
yes.
So Leo could be bullying, Uranus and Taurus. It could be an interruption of finances,
Mm,
but it just seems as if, now, if you look at it in the other way, you could look at this as the first house for Harry, Prince Harry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is his home. His home is breaking in February.
mm,
So I wanted to ask you what you thought Uranus represented.
okay. In February, Meghan. Ooh, wow. 3 of Wands and the Devil. Um, 3 of Wands, I'm getting moving. I'm getting moving. Yes.
Wow.
Or traveling. It feels more move. With children, with the 6 of Cups. And 6 of Cups can also be going back to your roots, where you come from.
Ah.
Will Harry go back in February?
And why? Why is he going back?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, the 4 of Swords, that's really, will he take the children? 4 of Swords is a interruption, sort of a pause, a sort of break to sort of step away, isolate a little bit, to be on your own. But this one has this little bit of symbolism here within the 4 of Swords is the 3 of Swords, which I actually had quite a bit come up while I was shuffling. I was like, why does that keep coming up? That's a heartbreak. Is it going home? Going back to the homeland? These cards are definitely going home, somewhere, place of origin.
Okay. Yeah. So it would be something where I would say, Meghan, that's probably not a good month. You're going to want to see how this plays out before you go launching anything or trying to get your career going or making family plans, etc. So, thank you, Angel. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to keep on that note. And there's February is a big month with all of my
Oof.
What? Did you find something?
I know, I just love the font.
Oh, I know. It's fancy.
Yeah.
I love her dress. I love how she looked. If you are going to be battered, and she was just saying in one of the meetings that she went to, I think with teenagers, that she's the most bullied woman in the world. And I would agree with that. And of course, in the headlines, the tabloids, of course, they bully her about saying that she's bullied. I mean, it's something you can't even make up. Now, this is King Charles' solar return chart. We haven't really looked at this one. This is his 2024. So we have November 14th, December 14th. Okay. Between January 14th and February 14th, there we go. Uranus again. It looks like he knows about the change before anybody else because his is in January. So he's learning of it before she does, which is in February. So here it is again. And it's actually, there's some things that are good. Maybe it's the doctors. Neptune here is maybe advising him to change something, but it is opposing his sun. Venus is his health. Yeah. This has to do with his health and his life. I think this is a big, big deal here.
Yeah. And that was January for him into February.
January 14th to February 14th.
Yeah. Four of Swords again. Isolating. Eight of Cups. That is a walking away. That is walking into isolation. This Eight of Cups.
Whoa. Could this be COVID related?
Let's see. No, I don't. I think he's surrounded by his family. I think he might be getting confusing news around his health. Yeah, I'm getting the Seven of Cups. That's like a little bit of confusion about, this could be the point where we hear about a decision to continue therapy or not. And we will see less of him, regardless of what that looks like. It might be that point of care where it's a decision to be made of do this or don't do this. And I feel like he chooses to sort of, lay a little low, surrounded by his family.
Okay. Yep, he's taking it easy, but it is a shift, and it seems like it affects everybody. So let me go to the next one.
Yeah.
And let me see. Okay, the next one is so here is the UK solar return chart for the 1801 incorporation. I don't know if it's incorporation, but it's when they started in 1801. And so this starts January 1st. So that's going to be the first house. And then we're going to go all the way over to Uranus. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So this is July here. But let's look and see what February is. That would be January, February, and Jupiter is here, and it's squaring Pluto. I want to see more. For some reason, I would really like to see more Leo. But let me see, Venus. I think January 1st to February 1st is really what shows it, because you have Venus in a T-square. This is dramatic.
Yeah.
Look at this. We've got here, right here. Now, it could be a female. It could be a very famous female that is not doing so well between January 1st and February 1st, or might have passed. But we would probably say for the UK, I think what do you think?
I just, with the Saturn, I think, is that on the IC? I see what you're saying about, if it's someone passes.
somebody passes, but for the UK chart,
Yeah.
I think the 5th house would be the family, and that would be Mars. And
Mm.
that would be, okay, this makes sense. Hold on, let me share it for a second.
Mhm.
You can see, so let's say the 5th house is the family. That would put the family here.
Mhm.
And that would be February 1 to March 1. And there's a square to Neptune, which could be a conspiracy. It's a scandal. I don't think it's going to, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a scandal, but it does look like a change to me.
Yeah, the cards that I pulled before we got on here, the other set of cards, aside from that star in reverse and the world, I had, again, the strength card, the world, and then I had the 4 of Wands. And my first reaction to this draw was a change, something new beginning in the royal family around the castle, around the home. And actually, I kind of got like, is someone getting engaged or married? Or is there some kind of ceremony where there's a pomp and circumstance kind of thing, but it's a change, something new, brand new.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. It certainly looks like there's a fight happening in the UK with regard to, this could be the people, because Sagittarius, I mean, it is the Church of England, right?
Mhm.
I mean, so that would be Sagittarius. Then we've got just a group. I mean, it's too far away, but
Yeah.
it looks like there's trouble there.
Could it be anything to do with the government, like a change in leadership in the government? Because I have the Devil card, which is Capricorn, Saturn, sort of government. I've got a lot of that.
June is here,
Yeah.
and then it goes all the way over to February, and there's Aquarius.
There it is.
9th
Yeah.
is international news.
Yeah.
And there's Uranus
Yeah.
right here. Oops. Uranus right here, and then in a T square, boom. I mean, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Okay. We won't ask any more about that. Unless you want to do something.
No, I just keep seeing a lot to do
Interesting.
with government. Every card I pull is talking about the government. And yeah.
You know, I'm going to show this because Uranus does represent divorce. And I think that's why you're probably asking. So it could mean that it is a divorce of something, divorce of a career, or of living in a certain place.
Yeah.
So, okay. And all right. So now we are going to get to the discussion on this week's news. This is going to start on Sunday. And we're going to go through the days to see what we can get. So this is essentially really Monday. Let's say the first house is Monday. Nope, wait. I think, let me just double check. Yeah, actually, before we do that, I wanted to show that right now, this past weeks. We're still in this one. But notice how there's a blue Grand Trine. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now next week, there's going to be an opposition to Uranus. This is a shock. So what does that mean? Who is being shocked here? And this could mean, going back to the title, of some kind of royal revenge. We are at Leo, 1 degree in the first house. Now, at this point, Prince Charles hasn't left yet, but this could be something that has to do with social media because of the 11th house. Maybe someone in a family, but it looks like, I think it might be between October 13th to October 19th. I think we're talking about a pretty big betrayal in the news.
And this is the Evening Standard chart? No,
this is the week chart starting on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's see. King of Swords. This is a lot of information. Definitely, that's Aquarius. So Uranus. Judgment. One more on this. There's that star card in reverse again. This is like fallen star. What is this? That's Aquarius as well. More Uranus. Judgment is a big, like, altering decision, a huge decision, some kind of complete left turn. And it comes through. It's like it's been brewing. Like, this is like long time coming information. I have it around, what is it about? One more. Work. Do you see workers in there? Like,
let's take a look.
Labor force. I have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. This is like, that to me symbolizes like massive job loss.
Monday, the sun will be Tuesday, Mercury will be Wednesday. So let me look at those first. For a worker, I would look at Virgo. Jupiter rules the 6th house. So this could be groups of workers. And 21 could be international people who maybe are trying to get jobs of some sort. So could it be something that has to do with a union, maybe?
That is exactly what I was going to say. Like a strike or something where people are sort of, having hard conversations and, information being disseminated through, the internet. It's not what people want.
If it weren't for that Jupiter retrograde, I would say, wow, it looks pretty strong, but it's still in a grand trine there. So I think there's good news for those people.
Yeah.
And that they might get what they want. But yeah, the parliament right now, it's pretty messy. It's pretty messy.
It feels like a strike. Like there's strike.
A strike.
Workers not working, like throwing down and saying, I'm not doing that.
And that could be as soon as Monday.
Until something changes. Yeah, with judgment. Definitely. Yeah.
So we'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
And then, it might even be online already. I could Google it.
I know.
We still have a group of planets. These are the dirty politicians down here. So we're going to be hearing about dirty politicians Tuesday and Wednesday. And it opposes this little stellium here. Could this be, now I know this is also the dirty politicians and the conspiracy theory, so they can win. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also wonder, could this be, and let's see, this would be the 13th, 14th, 15th. No, I mean, this could be as early as the 14th. Could there be something in the news about another hurricane?
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Probably not in the UK, but still the headlines, right?
Yes. Quickly. Yes. I have the Knight of Swords. This is coming in hot, coming in fast. And it's an air card. So wind, fast wind. And it's a yes. Yeah. With the star on the bottom is another yes. And an Ace of Cups. Lots of yes.
Those are great cards. What cards are those?
I'm terrible about the names.
I love them. I shouldn't have asked.
From somewhere on the other side of the world. It took forever to get to me, and I just love it. It's heavy. It's very heavy. Yeah.
The star that you showed, it looked like the star was like bending down over water too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that could come in. News about it could come in on the 2nd house. So that would be Tuesday, but it really seems to become a problem Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on Thursday of this week. I hope that's not the case because, we've had enough. But could this mean something that has to do with the UK with regard to weather?
Well, someone in the chat said, and I did not know this, but the intended departure date for Australia or arrival date is Thursday. So could weather impact that trip that I keep seeing is not happening or delayed? Maybe the weather impacts the royal visit.
Okay. Oh, it's funny. In my mind, I feel like King Charles's team is like wishing something happened. So they're like, well, we can't do it, give
Yes.
some kind of excuse. Sorry,
Like,
we're in a world war.
it's not right.
I mean, just anything. What can we say? And it would be better for him because he needs to rest. He should not be on international travel, but it is important. It is important. So, you got to hand it to him. But
Yeah.
so this is
Oh my
this.
God. Yes. I asked myself the question, could it be that, as you were saying that, and I got the King of Pentacles and again, that Knight of Swords. So sort of like, yes, this is impacting that. So could be. Whether
Okay. No, sorry, Angel, I won't. Angel, you said star scares me. Explosion. Oh, would that be the star? Or that could be the sun too?
Could be. Yeah.
Jan's got a report. Thomas Kingston inquest review in process. UK press not reporting much. I noticed that. Apparently, police investing meds who prescribed them and the mezcla cocktail of meds and alcohol. Maybe. Patsy, you said William should get out there and work. He's supposed to be the future king, not hiding in his palaces. If he doesn't, then get rid of the monarchy. He's been out, though. We are appreciative that we see him with Princess Catherine. And he's probably doing things, I think. So Dottie Forgotti, yes, please catch up. Karen, you said strikes in the UK now. There's a surprise, and trust me, they will get what they want because Starmer has given in to the unions already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lily Rose. And okay, Jan, you said Spanish press say Catherine is having another procedure October 21st. Oh yeah, I saw that. What do you think about that? Do you think that's fake news?
I have not read that. I have not heard that. So that's new. Let's see.
Okay.
It's kind of a no. 10 of Wands is maybe a no. Maybe it's not a real report. Yeah, I don't see it as, I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so. And maybe if it does, we won't actually know about it.
Yeah.
It would just be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Angel, yeah. Oh, I'm going to address this. I still want to know what happened to the alleged Travis and Tay-Tay 28th September contract rumor. I think it could be true. I do. But that's another topic. And Angel, stars falling from the sky, missiles. I shouldn't laugh. But it is scary. And especially when you see Uranus in the moon. Now, this is something famous is happening when it comes to that Algol period. It's like it could be Israeli activity, an Israeli event.
Is that Taurus?
Taurus. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It seems as if there is some. Okay, by the way, with Mars in Cancer, we are going to see a lot of really abusive types of stuff when it comes to couples, domestic abuse with couples. Why? Because Mars in Cancer is domestic, Mars is abuse, and then you square it with Libra. This is a married couple, and it's already happened a couple of times, I think, in the news. But I think we're going to see more headlines than usual about couples reporting each other. There's going to be some big domestic abuse type of news, I think.
Headlines, yeah.
And then there's somebody that wants to change. Usually when you have a Pluto square to a planet, that planet is having a hard time changing and is stuck. It's like birthing a baby. The baby doesn't want to come out, but it can be dangerous when we're talking about mundane events. Now, Mercury rules the 12th house and it rules the 3rd house. So this could be locals. And I think locals are stuck in their homes. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think it could happen as early as Monday, Tuesday, as early as Wednesday. People are just, I don't know why they're stuck, but this could also be feelings of betrayal too, that Pluto is betrayal. So what do you think about that?
The first thing that came to my mind before I pulled a couple cards was prison break and manhunt. And I kept thinking about like a prisoner escapes it. They can't find the person. They're chasing the person. There's someone on the lam, and it becomes headline news that there's a manhunt for someone who might have been imprisoned. It's very strange.
You were spot on when we were talking about children, and I was coming up with something about a child missing, and you had mentioned Madeleine McCann, who had not been in the news, and it was just a matter of days, and she popped in, and I think that story is back in the news now since that time.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Angel D, the UK prisons can't handle the amount of prisoners at the moment. Okay. Amber resolve Parliament. Now, Karen says, would Catherine be out and about now if she's going to have another procedure and disappear again? I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think she looks good.
Yeah, she does.
Buckeye Clay fan, maybe Catherine will get a Williamectomy.
That's correct.
Poor William. And Wills is Scorpio, so Wills represents Wills of the 8th house. Kind of crazy that's his name. And yeah, okay. So let me just look a little bit more here.
I want to say one more thing that's completely out of nowhere, but it could be a female felon, a female on the run, because there's so many feminine cards that keep coming out with that. So I don't know who that could be, but a very famous woman hunt, not manhunt.
Yes. Yeah. And also we might be seeing some P. Diddy headlines too, because Libra is also music. And we are going to be seeing, this has to do with, the sexual abuse. And that's Mercury squaring Pluto. This is not good.
No.
It could actually this could be another big headline about maybe a child. Could you give us any more information about something like that? Sorry, let me just underline what I was doing because I thought the chart was up. This is Mercury, and this is squaring Pluto. And Pluto is scorpionic types of things, very, very dangerous. Could be two couples, but could also be a child of some sort.
The crazy thing is, I continue, with justice in reverse. I continue to get women. Is there maybe someone who will be lumped in or accused that is a woman? And perhaps it makes me think of what we said before with Ghislaine Maxwell. She was sort of sent away, and it almost feels like if it's around the Diddy stuff, is there someone that is accused that is a woman participating?
Yes.
I don't know.
Or it could also be a female politician too, who wants revenge, and she is coming out swinging. We're seeing that more and more too, the whole political side of things.
We could also see Diddy's lawyer quit, or he gets a new lawyer, and it could be a woman. He could get a female lawyer, because I have this justice in reverse, which could be an attorney who's out, and these women cards could relate to that. Gets a female lawyer.
Again, though, with Libra too being the wind sign and a hurricane, we've got Mercury again. So it would be we were talking about twins. So this is going to be twinning politicians, twinning hurricanes, twos of everything. So we'll have to see how that goes. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is really that's going to be a news day. And that's Pluto. Pluto is I mean, it's not at full strength yet as it goes forward, but then more of this news. This looks, oh, let me tell you this. We haven't even gotten to half of it yet. This Pluto goes up here to the ninth house, and that's the press. So this is just more like more shock, more, it could be Neptune, could be the water, could be the conspiracy. But here's my question. This is also, I've said cult for a while now.
Yes.
What's that?
You have said that.
Yeah. And it just makes me think, could there be something that comes out yet about the cult yet?
I mean, I could certainly interpret some of the news around P. Diddy looking like that, but let's see what that is. Friday's news. Friday specifically. Oh my gosh, if I get that female card again, it's the Nine of Pentacles over and over.
Maybe it's a madam.
Maybe it's like, and with the Ace of Wands, I mean, clean channel, but it's a very phallic symbol in this deck. And, well, in most decks, but it is about passion. I mean, this can represent sex. So, and then I have the Page of Wands, which is a young person, but this Nine of Pentacles,
that is definitely Pluto.
Yeah.
What was it? The wands?
Yes, Ace of Wands.
Ace of Wands.
Oh. Yeah. It's actually a Mars kind of card. And then I have again Justice, Libra.
Okay, good.
Again. Yeah.
So yeah, you guys have been saying it too in the chat.
And now the Tower. The final card's the Tower. Yeah, this is explosive.
This is telling me that maybe someone in the news who's in a big scandal like P. Diddy might have somebody in the background who is a handler, or maybe like Ms. Maxwell, as you all were saying in the past month. This could be that person that comes out and is basically trapped and is in the news. And it could be, now with Neptune is also an actor as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Could be part of it. Okay. Lala, you said Ellen's been seen wearing an ankle monitor bracelet after a show was shut down. That's weird.
What?
Yeah. I should say Ellen has been in the headlines lately, but I think this might be made up. It's being said Ellen DeGeneres has fled the country, that the FBI is now looking for her. Come on. I gotta Google this. I don't think so. I would have seen this. Ellen. You wouldn't leave all of that real estate. Come on now.
And her chickens. She talks a lot about chickens.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing yet on that. So I'm going to delete that part just so that nobody accuses us from making anything up.
Yeah.
And Julianne, Prince William is out and about often. We don't hear in our news, unfortunately. Toy, you said little black books and videos. Lala, we don't blame you. You got to read what you got to read. I mean, where do I get my headlines? I get them from the Daily News, for God's sakes. So let's see. So this is a lady. Now, one thing too, we could probably get more of a profile, and this would be this woman. This is someone who wants revenge. And
I asked that exact question. Tell me who this person is, who this woman is.
Okay.
Devil. Someone who's, it just feels like they're working in a network with the Three of Pentacles. And then on top of that Nine of Pentacles, that female card, I got another confirmation that it is a woman. Could be a fire sign, earth sign. They might be brought forward by a young person who speaks out a younger person vocalizes something to bring this person forward. The interesting thing with the Queen of Wands is that they are, in most decks, they're a redhead, but brunette, certainly maybe strawberry blonde, but not brunette. Animal lover. And in this one, they look very masculine. They do not have the feminine qualities in the imagery of this deck. They're quite masculine looking in terms of what they might appear like. That's what I got.
Now we're building a profile here. This is good stuff. And I wanted to, too, also ask about, because Scorpio is the monarchy. So there could still be another storyline that plays out. And this could be somebody who is saying something in the press. Is there someone that is associated with the royal family that wants revenge?
Let's see. Oh, I almost don't want to say it, but let's see.
Meghan. No.
It's actually my Harry card, the Nine of Wands in reverse. So not in his best light. So let me see. And I have King of Pentacles as well. So it's someone with power. It's someone who's been left out in the cold. There's something around money. Oh, yeah. Is there stealing of money? Someone stealing money?
Let me see.
That's definitely possible.
I see more abuse than stealing, although Scorpio is taking someone else's.
Yeah.
And that could be with a square to the moon in Aquarius. Or is it a square? Yeah, square to the moon in Aquarius. It's a network.
Yeah.
But that Uranus opposing Venus, that is going to be a headline.
Yeah.
That's Friday. That's 1 week from today. We'll have to see what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see some kind of headline around financial misappropriations in a charitable organization, or something comes out. And it could be that the leak is the revenge, and maybe it's not true. I don't know. But it does feel financial.
Well, and let me go back, and then this will be the last chart. But I wanted to... Here is Meghan's chart. We've got August, September. This is October 4th. So we're just now in her third house, to November 4th. And this is the revenge symbol, Pluto here, and it's opposing bullies in the 9th house. So this could already be happening because of, what they're saying about her.
Yeah.
But this is, what's really interesting? I don't see anything bad about her father-in-law, which is Uranus.
Yeah.
There's a trine with him. So, but there is somebody, maybe a royal courtier that's given her a hard time or saying something to the press.
Yeah.
I wanted to also ask you this question about King Charles and Meghan Markle. Could we get a card about the two of them? I'm curious.
Okay. Let's see. That's it. What? The Empress card. So we are talking about Meghan. She's at the bottom of the deck. This is about healing a connection. This is temperance. This would be, I would read this as a reconciliation or peace offering.
That's what I'm seeing as well. That's what I'm seeing as well. And okay, one more question. I swear this is the last one. We were seeing in the UK, because I want to leave with like on a bright note here, and that's a bright note, that there's reconciliation because we want people to get along.
Yes.
Hard right now, but November 3rd is when Mars comes out of Cancer. So maybe during that period, there's some healing that can take place.
Yeah.
But I wonder let me look at this chart here for the UK. Yeah.
I was going to say, you're going to look at which one?
I'm going to look at, should I look at the UK for this week? I'm going to look at the UK chart. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, October 11th. So this is the fifth house is starting for the Evening Standard. Venus rules it. Ooh, there's so much stuff going on. There's some secrets.
I have the cards that I have are Venus and Sagittarius. So I don't know if you see that there.
Yeah, Venus, there's something that is being planned. So this is some kind of protest or something like that. But it looks as if now domestic types of things would be Mercury. So Mercury's right next to, they're definitely stopping something. Look at that square to Saturn. Something is completely stopped. And that's good. That's good for the people, right?
Yeah. What is our question?
Oh, our question is, any good news for the people of England? Let's say England.
Okay. Let's do.
Hey, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Oh, the Tyndalls are said to be divorcing? What?
Who?
No. Mike Tyndall and Zara? No.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine that. They're such a cute couple.
I think that our question with this Two of Pentacles in reverse, there's a change in big gifts and finances for the people. So I don't know how that will come out, but it looks like it's a yes answer. Is there something good? And it's like dropping the indecision, making a decision around money and finances. And it's a positive thing. It's a positive money card, stability.
Okay.
Banking, interest rates, something like that.
Boring.
I know. It's good news, though. That's a good card. I like that card.
We like banking news. That's true. And if you're interested in a personal reading, you can go to the description box and take a look at some of our information. And you can go to my site and sign up for our class on Sunday. It is a basic astrology class. So hope to see you this weekend. Thanks so much, Amber.
Thanks again. Everybody have a great week.
Yes, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.